Damon, whether it's basketball, football, badminton, Rocket League, esports, tennis, men's tennis, swim and dive, Arizona's going to give belt to the Sun Devils every single time.
Welcome on into the AZ Wildcats post-game show, live from Studio K, presented by our friends over at Circle K. I am, of course, your host, Damon Fairall, a.k.a. Damon Dog. He is my co-host, Kevin Thomas, a.k.a. Kevo Post. This is the AZ Wildcats podcast. We're coming to you live from PHNX HQ3 in downtown Phoenix. And man, what a win, Kevin, as the Wildcats take down the Sun Devils yet again. Like you said, name the sport, name the time, name the venue. It does not matter. Wildcats fans are going to show up, and Wildcats athletes are going to put belt to ass on the Sun Devils, and the Wildcats get it done again tonight. 87-74, the number one team in the country, remains undefeated at 22-0. Koa Peat goes off in his hometown, Kevin. Brayden Burries continues to look every bit like the superstar that he has in the last 15 to 20 games or so, and the Wildcats continue to roll. How are we feeling after that one?
Feeling good, feeling great, and we are presented by our friends over at Branded Bills as well. You see it on my head, you see it on Damon's head as well. Branded Bills, the most stylish headwear in the game, and we got promo code BBPHNX for 15% off your first order at brandedbills.com. Check them out, and check out this score bug above my head because it's a lot closer than maybe I predicted. I did think, as Russell can attest in the chat on the pregame show, that Arizona had seen Arizona State's best punch, and that maybe for the first half of the first half, it would be close. After that, it would be decimation. We got all the way to halftime, tied, close, and then it became a blowout city. Maybe not blowout city, but it became a light W for the Arizona Wildcats. It was not a struggle in the same way that BYU became a struggle, in the same way that some of these other Big 12 teams have struggled Arizona has struggled to close out against. This was a different situation, and I do want to give credit to Arizona State for making it close, having it tied at the half, and not giving up at the very end when some people who had a certain line would have liked them to give up at the end, right, Damon? So, I honestly, mostly, primarily happy to say this. Arizona has now broken the record for best start in program history. 22 straight wins, longest win streak in school history for my money. We're going back to 1914-17 for the other win streak. Definitely the best start in program history since 2013-14 when they went 21-0. And now you're tied with the 1996 Paul Pierce Kansas Jayhawks, who won 22 straight games to start a season in the Big 12. That is the record for the best start in the conference. The overall winning streak record is 23, set by Baylor in 2019-20. So Arizona is increasingly, expeditiously, very, very fastly approaching some true history here, Damon. And this team could not be more special right now if they tried.
No, they really couldn't be. And you know, it wasn't the cleanest of performances. It looked a little bit like, I think, what you saw in that first matchup versus ASU, which is, you know, they're hitting a lot of the, tough shots. Like, it wasn't as if Arizona's giving them just a bunch of open looks. I think that, the Musin X-Man is obviously listening to this very podcast, Kevin, because he takes it personally when he plays Arizona. He obviously has heard me and you trashing him and saying that he's a scrub because his two best games probably of the entire season now come against the Arizona Wildcats and, my bank account in particular. But that's a story for another day. I don't think that this was like necessarily the greatest performance in the world, but I also was never really in fear that it was losing Arizona's grasp, right? Like, it felt like control of the game was in Arizona's, hands the entire time. And you end up getting a pretty easy W, all things said and done at the end of it.
Yeah, no, it was a stressless win at the end, although, yeah, I think you're just happy to get away from your rival with 2 games and that you don't drop one, and that, yes, they gave you your best shot in a year where their coach is coaching for his life. He feels doom every morning when he wakes up, and he's coaching to get rid of that doom in his mind. Mo Odom is honestly a pretty damn good basketball player, and I think that he and Masamba Diop, Bryce Ford, some other guys on this ASU roster that have actual talent, right? They're going to give you a really good punch every once in a while. This team almost beat UCF on their home floor, who Texas Tech just lost to today in UCF. Now, I get it was the space game and blah, 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 but that does not change the opponent, right?
Yeah.
It might change the environment maybe by 5%. So, yeah, this Arizona State team has a lot of fight in them, and I appreciate Arizona for not succumbing to that. We've talked about this on multiple post games. Arizona teams of the past might fall to a challenge such that Arizona State gave them in the first matchup, such that Arizona State gave them in the first half of this matchup. But this year's Arizona team is simply different. They do not fall victim to those same traps.
This team is just so steady. They're so, just level-headed, it feels like, throughout, and they don't let, emotion get the best of them, or a team that has maybe given them a little bit of a rough go of things in a first half impact the way that they want to play basketball. Foul calls, like Mo Krivas and, Koa Peat both dealing with some foul trouble in this one. Like, I just think that this team is built to withstand things not going right. Like, it feels like Tommy almost built this team of like, well, if this guy doesn't have it, then, these 4 other players will. And this team is undeniable. They continue to go out there and just physically dominate teams. Like, that's the main stark difference. And I think that's why it feels like Arizona's so much in control, is because our buckets look way different than other teams' buckets against us.
Yeah.
When other teams are scoring against Arizona and keeping things close, they're hitting mid-range fadeaways. They're hitting Mucinek's hand-in-their-face threes. And they're, when it comes to Arizona, it's just, oh, we missed that shot. Tobe's got the rebound. Oh, he missed his own shot. Oh, he's got the rebound again. And he put it in the basket. Every time. Like, it's physical dominance on a possession-by-possession basis. And that's what makes you feel good about, this team being so sustainable, I think. Not that, we have worries about that, because we watched this team win its first 22 games of the season, but it just feels like this is not going away anytime soon. This is not some fluke. I know ASU fans were talking about Arizona being overrated in the first half and in the first matchup because they're playing a close matchup with their bitter rival, and it doesn't necessarily look like the blowout that Arizona has become accustomed to putting on opponents this season. But I don't think that really changes much for me, Kevin. This team is what they do is so sustainable, and it just feels like even if you have the better of them for a 5-minute stretch, that just will not last.
Yeah. No, it will not last. And the only way to make history the way Arizona is making history is to be undeniable, as Harvey Manfred Jensen says in the chat. Harvey Manfred Jensen was number 1. Arizona is number 1 right now, unanimous, right? And it's not a fluke. You have the balance, you have the strength, you have the versatility. The build of this team is simply undeniably damn near perfect from a build perspective. And I think you could argue if Anthony DeLorso was hitting his threes the way that we think he could hit his threes this season, this team would be damn near perfect. You'd have the sniper, you'd have the shooter that can kind of supplement him in Karchenkov. You have Burries who can get hot. Pete apparently is developing a 3-point shot as well. Krivas is out there. My point is, though, to your point, this team is special. And the reason that we don't have these as many Mark Titus tweet queuing moments at the end of these games, except for the BYU, because thanks to Tony Padilla, is because this Arizona team, like you said, is so poised, is so level-headed, is so built for the moment that they don't have the same issues that other Big 12 teams have had so far this season, Damon. I do want to give a shout-out to one Tommy Lloyd, who in the, I don't know what you call those, but the post-game desk show appearance that they do with the coaches and the star player, he was very, very sweet, very, very kind, respectful to those that came before him. They tried to cue him up to talk about Lute Olson, and he did that. He said that Lute Olson gave him a great life, which I thought was very, very nice, a very nice way of putting it, because he always says that. Yeah. He always talks about how he stands on the shoulders of giants. Maybe the giantest of them all in Arizona history is one Lute Olson, right? And so I think that was incredible. As 3DMK says, the coach has class. That is what I was really bemoaning in the pregame show about how classy Tommy Lloyd is and how I love the contrast between him and some of these other coaches across the country that you don't have to have as much respect for because they don't demand it with the way that they carry themselves. Tommy Lloyd demands the respect that he gets because of the way he carries himself. And like you said to me, Damon, he went out of his way to give big ups to Sean Miller, right? As Deborah Owens be reading I think she's reading our show rundown, Damon.
I mean, Deborah Owens is more locked in than anybody. We might have a hive mind thing going on, like a pluribus thing that's going on between me, you, Max, Deborah Owens, Roberto, all the legends of this chat.
Totally. But yeah, he goes out of his way to big up the teams of the past. And I think with Tommy Lloyd, he is so solely focused on the goal, which is to go 1-0 in each game and then 1-0 in the big game and then cut down nets and probably have a PBR or something afterwards, right? Like Tommy Lloyd is so singularly focused and he's so knowledgeable on why Arizona basketball is important, about why Tucson cares about the sport of basketball, and why the city of Tempe could give a damn about the sport of basketball. Like Tommy Lloyd has an understanding of this. I think it trickles down to his players. And when you have a group as mature as this one, it really sinks in. And in these rivalry matchups, you get guys like Koa Peat going off, flexing, screaming, maybe screaming a little too much, getting a technical foul. Ivan Karchenkov in his first derby a couple weeks ago, going nuts in front of the crowd. Same thing tonight. He was one of the first guys hyping up the crowd, hyping up the Arizona section. So this team is special, but you could argue that their mentality is special because they're being led by a coach with a very unique mentality in his own right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, his kind of inclination to be like, and let me shout out Sean Miller. Let me say, words about the guy who came before me. And unfortunately, I think that tenure didn't end necessarily the way that Wildcats fans hoped for, because there was a time where Sean Miller was one of the, 5 best coaches in the country at Arizona and was, really making this basketball program, bringing it back to the top where it belonged when what we lost after Lute Olson and his retirement and whatnot. So I love Tommy saying that personally. I thought that was pretty classy of him in particular, but Tom's just a classy guy, Kevin. Tom is all class all the time. So we've become accustomed to seeing that. One guy who's not all class all the time, Kevin, is one Bobby Hurley. Have you seen what he said in postgame?
Do I need to?
You do, because it will fire you up, son.
Let it go. Let it rip.
If you don't know that this is a dead man walking, a man who knows that his job is no longer going to be his at the end of the season, then I don't know what will make that clear to you, Kevin, because Bobby Hurley spoke on the environment during ASU's 87-74 home Territorial Cup loss to number 1 Arizona. Quote unquote, there were too many red shirts in the arena. It was not a home game. Straight out of the horse's mouth, that is via Jacob Brooks on Twitter. Go give Jacob a follow. He's covering for Sun Devil Source, doing good work over there. But man, he's not mincing his words on his way out, Kevin. He is, as I said last time, letting the choppa spray a little bit. Like he's just who wants some of this? The fans, the program, the facilities, you name it. Bobby Hurley's going to come out and trash it.
Look, he called his own environment sterile not long ago. You know what else is sterile? A hospital. You know where they don't really let you go too crazy when you receive good news? A hospital. Because you got to be clean. You can't be spitting and screaming all over the place. And for him to compare his own damn home arena to a place that you can't have bacteria, you can't share bacteria is insane. It's unbelievable. He's saying we're not even allowing germs into the building because we don't have humans in here to cause germs, right? It's crazy. Bobby is going to be the best damn assistant coach for UConn that they've ever had. And congratulations to him on probably, I don't know. This is it, man. I know you have the take about the Big East, and I hear you on it. But, I'm in the boat of this man can't do it. If he was trapped in a brown paper bag and the only way out was to coach, he's suffocating and staying in that bag. End of story. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. He's embarrassing is exactly what he is. He's an embarrassment to their program, their fans. If I was one of the 5 Arizona State basketball fans in existence, oh my God, I would be so embarrassed by our head coach. I would be so embarrassed.
But isn't that a little bit of a chicken or the egg situation, Kevin, where it's like, is Bobby embarrassing, because of the fans, or the fans embarrassing because of Bobby? You hear me?
Yeah.
Like Bobby is sitting up there and he's trashing the fans, and yeah, that's embarrassing when that's your head coach of your program. But did the fans not earn that? Or have the fans not earned that with their reputation as not caring and being just overall apathetic towards one of the two major sports on campus? And
you got to keep up the facade, though. Well, not for him anymore.
Not for him anymore. Out. I think he kept up the facade for a long time until he realized that he was no longer being brought back after this season, and then said, I don't really care what bridges I burn on the way out. Yeah. These fans hate me, and I hate them too. I love it. Yeah. That's why I love Bobby, because he hates ASU fans just as much as I do. He's just like me. I'm sitting on my couch pointing at the TV going, he just like me.
Well, on that note, Damon, we do have actual basketball to discuss, and there's only one man to bring on to do that. His name is Saul Bookman, and we will get to Saul after our first break here on the AZ Wildcats podcast. Leave a like, drop a Tommy emoji in the chat, drink your water, and do not go anywhere. Damon, I got to tell the folks, I got to tell the people about our friends over at Pure Edibles. Now, when I get home, I will be partaking in some Pure Edibles, potentially the uplift variety or the unwind variety. Bobby Hurley got my blood pressure high, you know what I mean? But I will say this much. UFC fight night, me, my lady, and the TV, and some Pure Edibles, because there's only one way to elevate that experience. Is with our friends over at Pure Edibles, a Freedom State company founded right here in Flagstaff at Noble Herb Dispensary, and they are not covered in sugar or all that other crap that their competitors may be covered in. This is a full-fledged, full-on, head-to-toe candy company bringing you all the fun stuff: CBN, CBG, CBD, and marijuana-derived THC in all your favorite forms. So go find yourself some Pure Edibles from one of the over 130 dispensaries across Arizona that dispense them.
A perfect combo with our friends at Pure Edibles. It's Circle K. It's America's thirst stop. It's the only place to get snacks, and it's the only place I'm stopping to get the cheapest gas here in Arizona and really just the entire country, Kevin, because we love Circle K, and the Inner Circle Rewards membership program is free. It's easy to sign up for, and it will save you so much money. If you guys aren't signed up yet, I'm telling you, you just hate money, and I don't know who hates money, Kevin, because it's, like I said, it's free to download. Takes 2 seconds. It's downloaded as an app. You got to choose a username, an email, a password, and you're done. You're an Inner Circle Rewards member. Just like that. It's so easy. Then at the tank, all you got to do is plug that phone number in, and the savings are right in front of you. 3 cents off per gallon every time you fill up. 5 cents off per gallon when you become a premium member like me and Kevin, but you get 25 cents off per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups, and that's really the real kicker. They also got all types of fuel days going on about once a month, 40 cents off per gallon over the course of an entire day. You guys are going to have to be on the lookout for those 79-cent Polar Pops, 99-cent Frosters, Monster deals, Red Bull deals, Celsius deals, you name it. They got it over at Circle K, America's thirst stop, and the Inner Circle Rewards membership program is trying to save you money. So download that free app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details.
Visit Circle K. You can also get your 3 Amigos at Circle K. You know where you can't find at Circle K, at least right now, but you might be able to find them on the way home tonight. That is one Saul Bookman.
We're the 3 Amigos.
We are the 3 Amigos. Coming to us live from McHale North. Saul, how are we doing?
I hate this place. I mean, I just hate.
Does it feel sterile, Saul? Do you feel like you can eat off the floor?
What?
Does it feel sterile? Does it feel clean? Does it feel empty?
No, it always has this, like, it has a weird vibe about it. Like, it's just got very loser energy about it. So, listen, it's kind of funny. Somebody on the ASU side did text me through the game and said that Tommy should have challenged this, like a particular play. I forgot what play it was, but he said, but I don't think they pulled the trigger because they couldn't see the small screens up there. It was like they couldn't see any of the stuff up there, so that's why Arizona didn't challenge any calls today.
I think I missed them. You might have to show them again. They're pretty tiny. I might have to get my follicles out. My follicles? What, my monocles?
They legitimately. Listen, I've been around this campus for a long time, basically my entire high school years and all this other stuff, and it's not great. Like it's bombed out, it's depleted, like it's not great at all. It's something that they need to improve. And then, that's Doug Tamero, the SID for ASU. Listen,
Doug Bomb.
he also, it's funny. I put that tweet out about like the awfulness of the jumbotron, and he sent me the article about like the $100 million of renovations that's coming. But then he did also say, he's like, I don't know if that's going to include a jumbotron, so don't hold me to it.
Now, Saul, you just obviously gave a rave review of Desert Financial Arena, aka McHale North. Somehow, it was still just a little bit more well-spoken to the arena than the own coach of the program, Bobby Hurley, is talking about here. And he said in the postgame, Saul, that too much red in the crowd.
I mean, I didn't think it was overwhelming. Now, for a home crowd, yeah, that's disappointing. If you're the home team, you're like, damn, this is like 50-50 crowd right here. Like, this is crazy. Just so we all know, when I went to the bathroom about the 12-minute mark. And so I missed a little bit of the game footage. And I could hear cheers on either side of the court. So I had to discern who it was that scored based off of the PA announcer. And if the PA announcer was like, Brayden Burries, I knew, like, just the tone, I knew it was a U of A score instead of like, yeah, you know what I mean? So that's how equal the crowd was. I will say that. And listen, I heard what you guys were saying about Bobby Hurley. He's 100% right. He's 100% right. These fans don't give a damn about ASU basketball. They never have. They never will. Like, it's all about football, and they're okay at that. It's just what they are, man. Just what they are.
Is Bobby Hurley an Arizona Wildcat Hall of Famer?
100. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Put his name in the rafters.
In the Ring of Honor tomorrow. Also, were the odds on his tie staying on the whole game like plus 1,600? What were the odds on that? I would have taken anything.
Did it stay on?
I think it did, didn't it?
I think a little part of Bobby died tonight, because this was like the last one where maybe he could pull off something that fans could call back to him, like, hey, remember when we stopped Arizona's long 21-game win streak and all that stuff? And then when he realized it was gone, it was kind of like his future. It's gone. There's no future here at ASU, and it's time to move on. But regardless, I do want to talk about the Arizona Wildcats and their performance tonight. I have a couple comments or a couple pieces of feedback from Tommy Lloyd after the game. He basically said that, obviously they did a good job in the second half, kind of keeping their composure. I asked him about Koa Peat. I asked, does this game mean more to Koa than maybe, you guys might let on? And he was like, oh no, Koa would do that in any game, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, well, he's got 2 technical fouls this year, and both just happen to be against ASU. This game means a little bit more when you're from the East Valley. I should know. I'm from the East Valley. So, yeah, it just means more. So, yeah, I thought overall it was a good second half. You knew Jaden Bradley was going to close them out, put the nail in the coffin. He did that. Solid win. They move on to the next one. It's just, this team is just so professional. They never get too high. They never get too low. They're just kind of matter of fact. They get through one game. They move on to the next. And I think with this game, it was exactly that. It's just a little notch in the belt, and they move on to Oklahoma State next weekend.
You bring up Koa Peat, Saul, and you kind of saw a tale of two halves, at least from a points production standpoint, similar to how you did in the first matchup against ASU. In the first half tonight, he puts up 6 points on 3 for 8 from the field, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. In the second half, he puts up 15 points on 6 for 8 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3, for whatever it's worth. A rebound, no assists, and 3 personal fouls, including a tech, 3 turnovers as well in that second half. What were you seeing in the first versus second half of Koa Peat's performance tonight? And are some people in the chat correct that maybe he was a little too tense, a little trying too hard in the home arena?
Oh yeah, I think it was both. I think it was definitely that in both games. I think he was a little amped up to go up against ASU. Like, again, body language tells you everything. And no matter what these coaches and players will tell you, like, I see your mannerisms, I see your actions on the court, and this means more to Koa. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what he says. I know it deep down inside. It means more to beat ASU because they really recruited him strong. He got that technical for shouting at the bench. That was Bobby Hurley's son that was standing up And I think that they were kind of shouting at each other. And for whatever reason, Koa got the tech. Bobby had to tell his son to sit down. And
I think the ref saw Bobby Hurley Jr. on the bench and said, "Who is that? A fan? Who is that? We can't tech him up. We can't tee him up. He's not a player."
I don't know what it was, but I'm going to assume that he had something to do with trying to recruit Koa to ASU, and it didn't work out. And it didn't work out because Koa is a smart individual, and he realizes that there is no better place to play in the country, and especially in the state of Arizona, than U of A. Why would you even entertain ASU? You know what he did with ASU? It's kind of like what the Cardinals coaching search is going through right now. Some people are just giving you like an attaboy, like, you know what? I'll do you a favor. I'll talk to you, but I have no interest in this job. And that's what Koa did with ASU. Like, come on, man. Nobody seriously considered Koa a legit ASU Sun Devil candidate. Like, the only people that thought that are the ones that are probably in the room next to you because they're just so high off their own stupid football Kool-Aid. They have no idea what's going on in college basketball. It's zero, zip, zilch. Totri, Ruby, both of those guys, they absolutely have no idea what good basketball is all about. They're probably over there championing the fact that they were tied at halftime. Hang the banner up, folks. They were down by one, or they were up by one in Tucson. They were tied at halftime. Dude, let's go. We first 4 champions right here in this arena. Get the hell out of here with that mess, man. Good job. Good job on your moral victory. Do you feel good? Can you sleep at night? Congratulations. Now, enjoy your first round exit from the Big 12 tournament so we don't have to see you ever again this year. Sorry.
Koa Peat will not only be a Sun Devil, he will be a Sun Devil legend.
Womp womp.
Straight out of Eric Ruby's mouth.
That might be the dumbest thing I have ever heard come out of anybody's mouth in sports talk history. Like, just the fact that you had the gall and the audacity to think that Koa Peat, like a 4-time state champion who was getting recruited by all types of national entities, would just bypass the best program in its own state to go up the street to do what? To do what? Be
to
mediocre?
Be a nice guy. Literally, they were like, well, Koa's a nice guy. He might stay around maybe and help us. Who knows? It's charity, Saul.
To come out here game after game with literally nothing on the line and risk your NBA future for nothing? Get out of here with that mess, man.
I mean, have you seen Bobby Hurley with McDonald's All-American type recruits? It's an absolute disaster, whether it's Sannon or Quaintance or Tayshaun Cherry or any of these guys. I mean, it blows up in his face every single time. Any blue chip prospect that is signing up to go play for Bobby Hurley has lost his damn mind, honestly, and maybe is showing you what his mentality as a player is actually truly like. Because as you say with Koa, like Koa is built, in like mentally in a lab. That dude is all about, winning, being professional, handling things the right way. And I think that you look at what's going on in Tempe, and when they get those type of Koa Peat level players, of which there are few and far between, but like when they get a guy who is like a top 25 recruit, it always blows up in just the most circus-like fashion of all time. And I just thank God Koa Peat made the right decision. Not that it was really ever in doubt.
The crazy thing is like now seeing Koa Peat and talking to him and getting to kind of know him over the course of the last 4 to 5 months, seeing him in Colorado Springs, watching him at Perry High School, which is literally right up the street from me. I've watched him a couple times. And you realize that this guy is a very business-like type of individual. It's very much like he's not going to be a me guy like brand and that kind of awareness, but he's very like, hey, this step leads to the next one, which leads to the next one, which leads to the ultimate goal, right? He's a very process-oriented guy. If you listen to Tommy Lloyd and the questions that he was getting in this in the post game, a lot of it he addressed about like, hey, listen, it doesn't matter if we're down by 5 or up by 5, like the process is still the same. It's all about the process. It's one step leads to the next. You got to crawl before you walk, so to speak. Cohen understands that. And to think that there was the possibility of him coming to ASU where there's too many variables that are not controlled here in this environment. And that's just a fact. Like, I'm not trying to be dismissive of the people here in Tempe or the Sun Devil program, but the basketball program is wildly all over the place, and it's shown on the court. It's shown in both these games against Arizona when they were up or they tied, and then the second half they fall apart because they have no process. They have nothing that they can count on, and Koa Peat understood that from the jump. That's why it did ultimately come down to us and Houston, two premier programs with two premier head coaches that are all about process and intentionality in the way that they move and the way they coach. And I think that's having a big effect on this University of Arizona basketball team. So, yeah.
Let's keep it in the front court, Saul. Matias Krivas picks up a pretty pivotal foul towards the end of this game. Tobe Awaka is able to kind of come in and supplant some of that production with his production on the boards. What did you see tonight with Arizona's front court? Because I know that Damon and I were kind of really wanting more from the front court from a consistency standpoint in this game, this matchup against ASU, compared to what you got in that first matchup against ASU.
I mean, points in the paint was strong. They were dominant as always. Tobe's evolved so much so that he's more than just a rebound putback kind of guy. You've seen him multiple times this year, even take guys off the dribble, especially if he's catching that ball at the elbow. If you come up too quick, he's going to go around you, and he has that athleticism and that ball handling ability to do so. Saw him attempt that a couple times. He's just too strong for guys down low, straight up. Like Jop tried, but even he, with his length, could not defend Tobe Awaka at an elite level. That's why, especially when Jop picked up his fourth, he was basically, he was a turnstile at that point, and there was nothing that they could do. There was one particular play though, and Tommy talked about this as well, where it was right at the beginning of the second half, loose ball, Tobe Awaka dives for it. Arizona ends up getting the ball and they score. Tommy says that was the play of the game. And when you have a senior that is willing to, that understands, it doesn't matter if you're playing against the Sisters of the Poor or you're playing against the best team in college basketball, you have to put it all out there and you play the same way every single time. Tobe Awaka does this every single game. You can never question Tobe's intensity or focus in any game. And tonight was just another case of that. And listen, Kribas was fantastic in that first half as well. We got to give him a lot of love. Like, he played strong. He had a couple little snafus in the first minute or two, but once he got settled into the game, it was lights out. ASU had nobody that could stop him. They had to force the ball out of his hand and get everybody else involved. And Koa Peat, since he kind of started off a little slow, it gave him time to kind of catch up to the game and get his bearings about him, ease into it, and get rocking and rolling. And once all those things were clicking, they were off to the races.
We didn't really have to pop the trunk in this one, but we might have went to the trunk anyway just for fun. If you're in the clutch, call 1-800-CLOSER, and you'll reach Jaden Bradley's phone. What did you see from the closer, JB, tonight?
I mean, listen, I think there were 8 or 10, and I leaned over to Chris Brown, who does AZ Band Cats, I think. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, Jaden Bradley ain't coming right now. And sure enough, 5 seconds later, a little pick and roll, mid-range, bucket. And I was just like, yeah, that's what he does. He's the closer. Like, make no mistake about it, he's the closer. Now, what's going to be really interesting is I know teams are going to start picking up on that, and they're going to understand in the last 2 minutes of the game, you better double, if not triple team Jaden Bradley, because he is going to get those shots off. Who else is going to step up to take those shots? Who else is going to have the wherewithal to understand what's happening to Jaden Bradley in the last minutes of these games and how they can step up? I have a feeling it's going to be Brayden Burries. I think Brayden has come on pretty strong of late, especially, since that Alabama game. But you could just see Brayden's overall confidence just change. It's really remarkable to see how much, if you took a look at that Florida game versus what this Arizona team is right now, it's like night and day even. And so it should impress you as an Arizona fan that they're just very methodical. They're going to wear you out. And listen, I've always thought that, like, yeah, it's great to have these high-flying, high-scoring teams, and it's fun. It's fun basketball. Don't get me wrong. There's a bit of, at times, it can get a little boring with Arizona because they're so methodical. They're very just lunch pail type of dudes. But I enjoy it. I love it because you know what? 22-0 is 22-0, and I could give a damn how we get it.
1,000%, Saul. And I want to talk to you a little bit more about Brayden Burries and his potential to take over that closing role at times this season down the stretch. after our second break and our final break here on the AZ Wildcats postgame pod. Leave a like, drink your water, do not go anywhere. I got to talk to our friends about the husband and wife law team, Mark and Alexis Breyer, experts in serious injury and wrongful death. Please call that number down at the bottom left of your screen, 602-783-8841, only if you want to reach the best specialists in the game when it comes to personal injury and wrongful death. You have access to these attorneys at all times as well. Never play phone tag or try to speak with your lawyer and not reach them. That is absolutely inconvenient and absolutely not the experience you get with the husband and wife law team. You can reach them at any time. Practice that is 100% dedicated to serious injury and wrongful death. They're experienced and specialized in this field. So if you've had a serious injury, call the husband and wife law team first at 602-783-8841 or visit the link in our show notes below and tell them the boys over at the AZ Wildcats pod sent you.
Kevin, you ever just crave a little Vegas vacation, a little getaway to Vegas, but you're sitting there and you're like, you know what would suck? Getting the flight.
And Vegas.
Getting the drive. And just the overall general Vegas kind
Smells.
of smell, vibe, craziness. How about Vegas in your backyard? All the good things about Las Vegas, but right here in Arizona, right here in the Valley. How about Gila River Resorts and Casinos? They bring you we bring the Vegas over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Guys, you got to check it out for yourself. They got a Vegas residency now through April going on at all 4 of their locations, whether it's Wild Horse Pass, V Kiva, Santan Mountain, or Lone Butte. Gila River Resorts and Casinos is absolutely bringing it. They got exclusive concerts, extended DJ sets, showgirls, chef-driven dining, pop-up bars, and surprise cameos. Plus, don't miss out on the fabulous Corvette giveaway and special perks for loyalty members. Kevin, they're giving away 4 Corvettes at all 4 Gila River Resorts and Casinos locations. All you have to do to qualify is sign up for their hourly drawings on Fridays from 6 to 8 p.m., where you get free bonus play or a finale entry. Tuesdays and Saturdays, you earn 4 times the entries when you play with the card. And Thursdays from 2 to 5 p.m., the hot seat finale qualifier. Play the card for your shot. Exclusive swag giveaways as well all throughout. They're doing these finales on April 27th through April 30th at their 4 locations. For more information, visit playatgila.com, and you guys can check out how you can drive away in a brand new fabulous Corvette with the fabulous Corvette giveaway with Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Don't miss your chance to accelerate into luxury, play, earn, and win any of our 4 casino locations.
Welcome back, Saul Bookman, live from McHale North.
They have showgirls at Gila River?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're bringing the Vegas.
Do they
Through
really?
April, brother.
Oh, so it's a special limited time deal?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
they're
okay.
doing they're bringing the Vegas to you, so no one has to travel to Vegas for the next 4 months here. It's fantastic.
Well, that's something interesting. I did not know that.
Brayden Burries, Saul, we were talking about him before the break. We understand that, like you said, honestly, a pretty wise point by you is that this closer show from Jaden Bradley is incredible. It's special to watch, and we love to have him do it. However, teams are going to wisen up to, it's a close game down the stretch. I bet every Arizona Wildcat fan and their mother knows where this ball is going, and it's to Jaden Bradley. But down the stretch of the season, could you see that shifting potentially to Brayden Burries, and how ready is he for that responsibility to be put on his shoulders?
Yeah, I definitely think he's ready for that. I think we'll see something like that against Kansas first, when they play at Kansas February 9th. That's another big Monday game. I think you're going to see, if it's a close game towards the end, I think you'll see Bill Self and company try to take Jaden Bradley out of the game and force everybody else to try and beat them. And I think that's when Brayden Burries really cements his mark as kind of not taking the mantle officially, because that won't happen until after the season, but sharing that mantle temporarily. Well, it might not even happen after the season because Brayden Burries is probably going to the NBA. So, they'll have 2 hands on the mantle both. There you go.
One thing I love to see from Brayden Burries, and I feel like when you talk about his confidence kind of just exploding, to me, the number one thing I see is when he gets the ball in transition, he is just attacking the basket, saying, I'm going to score. I'm undeniable. He's so good at finishing through contact. You can tell he has a really good level of balance and just overall strength to his finishing ability. What have you kind of seen from his growth from that standpoint in particular?
Oh yeah, he's in attack mode almost all the time, and even when he's coming down the court and he gets stopped, he's always probing. He's always looking for that opportunity to dive to the basket, to cut to the basket, penetrate anywhere he can, and then obviously he also is going to make the smart play, and that's the evolution between Brayden Burries earlier in the season. I think now is he knows what the good play is, and so and listen, you make enough good plays in a row, you kind of it's kind of like the way I like to think about it is like you're just putting you're investing in yourself, right? You're earning some currency with the coach. So that way, every now and then, I'm feeling a little froggy. I think I want to do a step back, pull up. I've earned that right because I've done so many good things that the one questionable thing, whether it goes in or out, it's not going to be questioned by the coach because he trusts me because I built up that rapport with him. I've invested in what he's doing, and now he's investing in what my decisions are. So I think it's a good balance all the way around. And Brayden Burries has really shown that and evolved as the season has gone on. And I think this game is another case in point and he never gets down on himself. Like he had a couple times where he attacked the basket, got blocked. So what? Who cares? Just keep going. And it doesn't really bother them at all.
Saul, I think we've been sending you to too many games. I think you've been hanging around with Tommy Lloyd and these pressers for too long. You damn near mimicked exactly what he said after the game to TNT because he was dropping bars. This is something you would love. He talked about the idea of contribution like through accumulation or something like that. I would encourage you to go watch the clip because he was dropping actual bars, some real wisdom there.
He was.
But he was talking about how just doing the little things throughout the course of the game, and this is from a team perspective, not just for Brayden Burries, but it applies to him as well, right? From the doing things on the small, marginal level throughout the game, by the end of the game, you've done a whole hell of a lot, right? And I think that is kind of like just keep chipping away at it. Keep chipping away at it. That has kind of been the motif of this year's team. Just like that workman, that professional, that picking up the briefcase, putting on the tie, and just doing your job at work every day is kind of the vibe that this Arizona team has accumulated. And even you mimicked it even down to the currency analogy that Tommy Lloyd used. He said, you have a residual interest in your bank account. We got residual interest on the basketball court. And I was like, all right, Tommy. All right, cook.
All right.
Cook, Tommy.
Well, cool. Hey, there's worse people to be compared to. So I'm flattered that I got it right. I'm glad my mind is in the same space. I'm really trying to harness Coach Lloyd as much as possible so I can kind of see what he's seeing. It's sometimes it's a little difficult, but also in the post-game presser, he did mention that he showed his team film and he just randomly said this. He was just like, from like 4 or 5 months ago when we were in Casa Grande, and then, to now. And then we, a couple more questions got asked. And then Bruce Pascoe was like, wait, I want to go back. Did you say Casa Grande? Like you guys were in Casa, like, why were you there? And he's like, oh, I thought you guys all knew that. And so it was like, wait, what's happening? And of course, Tommy calls it Casa Grande, which I know like phonetically that's correct, but also like nobody really calls it that. So it's just they must have some team bonding moment out there. They did a lot of training, and then to look at where they've evolved from there to now has been really, really remarkable. Even for us, watching them from day one against Florida to now, and seeing how they've evolved. Listen, they got shot number 23 against Oklahoma State next Saturday, and then, 5 in a row, I think, against Kansas, Texas Tech, I think Iowa State, Houston, and then Kansas again.
Yeah.
Wow. It's going to be tough.
Who doesn't love a little Casa Grande vacation, Saul? That's what I always say. I'm always trying to get out to my next retreat out there. But I did want to kind of flip things a little bit because I just have to be Mr. Sour Grapes on this show. And obviously we're talking a lot of positive stuff. But I got to ask about something negative. What the hell is going on with Anthony Del Orso?
I asked him that, and I said, what are you seeing from him right now? And he basically was like, we trust him. He's going to get through it. And I think that's Tommy's way of acknowledging that, yeah, he's going through a little bit of a rough patch, but he knows. And listen, I think I agree with him. Delly has had rough patches before, and he has found his way out of them before. I think I look back last year against Duke, and Delly didn't really have much of an impact in the tournament. And then we played Duke, and he was the one that kind of got the Wildcats started, hit a couple back-to-back threes, and kind of launched from there. And, everybody was kind of grooving, even though they lost. It just didn't seem like he was fazed by that moment. I just know. I'm telling you right now. We should record this. We should save this. Delhi will have a big moment for Arizona this year. It will happen. I promise you it will happen. He will do something. He will make a big shot in a moment where you just absolutely needed it. And he's going to come through for these guys. I know it. He's too good of a player, too good of a shooter to let this funk continue the way it has. At some point, he will snap out of it. And it's probably going to come against a team that honestly, it might happen against Houston. The team that you would least think it would happen against, it'll happen against. And everybody will look back and be like, man, am I glad I stuck with that guy?
Can I pull up a Damon real quick and just play devil's advocate here for a second? Because for the record of this podcast and the history of film, I do agree with you, Saul. I think you will have big Delhi games coming down the stretch here. He's just bound to have them. We know he's capable. He's bound to do it. But I will say, like, he did have a really big game against UCLA, right? So it's not like he hasn't already had a big moment this year. It's just that he has played really well to start, so much that we all got off his tail. And now it's almost like he needed the haters, honestly. He needed the haters. But do you think it's possible that this is, like, in some reality, just the way Delhi's year is going in perpetuity until the end? Or do you genuinely believe that he's going to bounce back? It's just a matter of when, not if.
It's a matter of when. I really don't have any more to elaborate on that. I really don't. Like, cool, UCLA. It's a big moment in the moment, but it's not a big moment. Like, everybody's forgotten about UCLA because there are bigger fish to fry down the stretch. There are bigger teams to fry as the Wildcats move on. It's all about the tournament now. Like, this team is 22-0. They're a virtual lock to be at least a top 3 seed. Even if they lost the next 5 out of 6, they're still going to be a top 3 or 4 seed. And, like, so you're locked in to the West for the most part. You're going to San Diego. You're probably going to San Jose. Like, those are the two teams, the two cities that you're probably going to play the first, second, third, fourth rounds in. Like, that's your opportunity to get to the Final Four. And Delhi is going to come up huge in one of those moments where you feel like the season is on the line. I promise you this.
Very strong declaration from one Saul Bookman. Now, I know you have some game. Yeah. I know you have some game notes. Take us to the notebook, Saul. What do you got?
All right, let's bust out the notebook. I thought it was very interesting. I asked Tommy about the interesting lineup right before half, where JB, Tobe, and Krivas were all sitting on the bench. Went with that smaller lineup. I asked Tommy, was that planned, or is that something that just kind of happened as a result of foul trouble and stuff like that? He said it's just a result of what happened with fouls, but that they have been practicing with that lineup several times in practice and been testing it out. They feel more and more comfortable with it, and that it won't be the last time you see it. So there's that. I thought that was interesting. That's their smallest lineup that they've ever put out there. Koa basically being the 5, Aristotle at the 4, and then Delhi, Burries, and then Yvonne as well. So and then I was hoping that the Delhi layup was going to be the spark going into the second half, but it didn't happen. So I put
nice
a question
finish
mark there.
though with the left.
Oh yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah, with the kiss off the glass like that.
A little English on it.
So I said the subtle things. So about the 5.5 minute mark, ASU scores, but the ball bounces off of somebody's leg. It kind of rolls to half court. And what I love about Jaden Bradley is he is in no hurry. He just let that ball roll. The time is clicking. It don't matter. He just let that ball roll. And then the ref runs out and gets it because you got to force the ref to go get it. And then he brings it back. They inbound it, but when they inbound it, I think it was Tobe Awaka just kind of threw it out there, but didn't throw it hard at him. And so JB just let the ball kind of roll because the shot clock also doesn't start until he touches it. So he killed about 15 to 20 seconds of the game just like that. And I think that's a small thing. But in games where you're controlling it, especially in the tournament, you, as a defender, you can't let that happen. You pick up the ball and give it back to the ref, something, right? But that's Jaden Bradley's senior leadership right there, understanding how the clock and the rules work. I thought that was great.
Real quick, Saul, on that, I want to key in on that for one more second just because I know how much we love the closer, Jaden Bradley. I feel like he just continues to pick up more little nuances and gimmicks from Chris Paul's game. Because Chris Paul is consistently talking about, don't go for the 2-for-1, go for the 3-for-1, right? You have to be thinking ahead of your opponent who's already thinking one step ahead. You got to be 2 steps ahead. And you have to have that veteran mindset of, okay, this game, the margins ultimately are this thick. They're so small between us and a loss, right? How can I steal this game? Not like it's that close that Arizona needed to really steal it, but you do, over the course of the game, take it from your opponent. What are some ways to do that? And I love that you brought that up, because stealing 15 seconds while keeping the shot clock still, chef's kiss.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point by you, Kevin. And then the last thing I do have is as I was leaving Tommy's presser, coming down here, it was a really nice moment, because we forget about the humanity of some of these guys and some of the stuff that's going on. And listen, I'm not trying to get political about anything right now, right? But the fact that Masamba Diop and CD Gay, both Sudanese players, both on visas here in the United States, they were chopping it up in the back, having a moment. And I can only imagine being that far away from home and not really having anybody else that can relate to what your family may be going through or you might be going through. And they were talking about that, I believe, on the broadcast in terms of Diop not getting his approval until literally right before school started or the season started, right? And that's just, you sometimes we forget, like Ivan Karchenkov, same thing, like trying to go through the process of being able to play here in the United States, and how difficult that can be right now. And I just thought it was really cool to see those guys have a moment and have a little bonding moment. Also, I just want to say this out loud. When I saw that, I was like, Krivas is gone next year. Tobe is gone next year. I mean, he can hit the little midi jumper. He's a good big around the rim. I like his game. Who else can coach the overseas players better than Tommy Lloyd? Oh,
nobody.
The overseas big men?
Give it to me, baby. Give it to me. And with that, I just want one more last thing. I know, hey, listen, I know no advertisements, but here there is a tradition by one of the best SIDs in the country who always hooks a brother up with a nice frosty beverage. Just capped this nice 22 game winning streak. So here's to you, fellas.
Cheers, Saul. Cheers.
Enjoy that.
Anyone who's seen one battle after another knows Saul's just having a few small beers.
No Johnny Venerable on this one. We can finish.
Do we still have the Johnny Chug emote? Supporters Club members, drop your Johnny Venerable chugging the beer emotes in the chat right now. Yeah, John Chugg's in the chat right now. But Saul, I will say, quick question for you on a historical point. If we were to get Masamba Diop next year from ASU, and if Tommy was to develop him, honestly, not that much further, he's not that far away from being a pro in this year's draft, right? Would he be the first pro to be both a Sun Devil and a Wildcat, or am I forgetting someone obvious?
Ooh.
In hoops? I can't think of
in
one
hoops,
guy.
Yes. Yeah, in hoops it has to be. I can't think of anybody in hoops.
Yeah.
Because honestly, feed me that storyline. It's kind of elite. Like, look, that would be the ultimate chess piece in my cap of like, Bobby can't coach. I've been saying it for so long.
I mean, listen, I took what you did not appreciate, and I made it shine.
Yes.
Not only did I make it shine, I let it shine to the whole world. And now he's an NBA draft pick. Listen, that's what we do. We develop talent. You know, that's what we do. And you guys have developed this audience to be lovers of U of A hoops and Wildcat Nation, unlike ever before, right? Like, that's what we do. And listen, I do want to say this. There's so many, obviously a lot of the Tucson media, it's up here and stuff like that. And I've been kind of like just looking across the board, and like, I can't recall another time where there's this many podcasts, news outlets that are covering Arizona basketball. And this started even before this year. It's really cool to see, because, you know, as a young guy growing up, I didn't have that. I didn't have any of this stuff, right? I got the game, and that was about it. So to see this stuff, and it's pretty cool. So shout out to all the Tucson media folks, all of them, every single one. They all do great work, and you guys obviously are included in that. So keep up the great work.
We appreciate you, Saul.
If, like Damon said, we do appreciate you, and I just wanted to get this little quip in for Damon. It's a little inside joke. But if you don't think that Tucson sports fans are eating with the amount of podcasts that are out there, you are a flat idiot. A flat idiot. And I'll cue this one up, Saul. Before we get you out of here, I wanted to hit one of our segments with you because I think you might have a unique perspective on it for this game as you are there. Our love the play of the game with our friends over at Arizona Lottery. You know how this segment works. We recount the whole game, talk about only our favorite plays that we love. The love the play of the game segment with Arizona Lottery. Saul, what was your favorite play from this one?
Oh, man. I would say it would be Koa's last dunk. Actually, no. Let me remember. It was Koa's 3 because
Which one?
The last one, the one where he got technical on. Because I just feel like I wish I had a zoom up, and maybe after this I'll go back home and I'll kind of zoom in on what did he say. But I was watching him, and he said something to the bench. I'm just gonna say it was probably colorful. It probably warranted the tee, but I think there was trash talking going on both sides. But the fact that he hit
that's
that
what I was
three,
going to ask you, Saul. We were having a little bit of a debate here in the office with the Sun Devils guys because they were like, "You can't do that," and I was like, "Yeah, I don't know if you are aware of who Koa Peat is or what his personality is like, but I'm going to venture to guess that he didn't start that." Would you agree? Would you be on the same side as me there?
I probably would be on the same side as you. Yeah, for sure. Like, listen, that whole group is instigators. That's all they doing. Like, they grabbed Krivas down to the ground, and Krivas got called for a foul because they have to resort to gimmicky BS. Like, that's what they are all about. And hey, let them have it. Winners work. That's what we do, and that's what the Arizona Wildcats did today. And Koa Peat, capped it all off. There was somebody that was sitting right next to me, and he was talking about, you take Koa Peat off this team, and they're just like us.
Did Koa take the other 7 guys in the rotation with him?
His team would be top 10 without Koa still.
I was like, okay, first of all, welcome to basketball. You're new, and all you know is this one guy. Congratulations. But that would be so tragic to think that if Arizona didn't have Koa Peat, that they somehow would just fall off the face of the earth. And they certainly wouldn't be ASU at 11-10 or 11-11 now. So, yeah, there's just, again, they don't know ball. They never have. They never will. I don't care. So Koa Peat.
I'm going to go with a different Koa Peat moment, that Brayden Burries dime on the Koa Peat dunk, which I think you were referencing as maybe your first option there, Saul. But what a pass from Brayden Burries. And that's kind of, it's not just Brayden Burries attacking the basket when he puts his head down and just says, I'm going to go get a bucket here. It's also when he gets the ball immediately in a transition opportunity and he's looking up, how can I go feed Koa down the floor, and just places a perfect pass like, I don't know, Tom Brady style, Peyton Manning style. I mean, that was unbelievable. And just a super, highlight moment between the 2-star freshmen of the team that, I think we've had at times talks about, can they maybe have that, really good game together, right? And, there's been times where it's been the Brayden show or the Koa show, but not really the Brayden and Koa show. And tonight you got the Brayden and Koa show, and it was pretty damn fun to watch.
We're gonna get a Brayden and Koa show at another level. I feel it coming. I do feel it coming. I'm gonna say, let me see if I can make my mark. I'm gonna say
Fog
Texas
Allen.
Tech. No, I'm gonna say Texas Tech. I think that when they play Texas Tech, I think that's gonna be, they're gonna have a moment because Toppin can't guard everybody.
No, I actually loved that pick because Damon and I were talking about this on the show the other day. What were they, Damon? The shortest team in the country, Texas Tech? They were one of the bottom 4 shortest teams in the country.
Yeah, they're the shortest team in Power 5.
That's what. So I think when you think about that matchup, you can't stop Koa Peat with whoever the hell is not JT Toppin, and you don't want to exhaust JT Toppin because he's half your offense. And Christian Anderson can't guard both Jaden Bradley and Brayden Burries and Ivan Karchenkov when he gets switched onto him. The man is only 6'3", right? So, yeah, I actually really like that pick.
I actually think that TCU is the shortest team in Power 5, and Texas Tech is second to last. I got that wrong. But they're in the bottom 3 to 4 for sure in terms of size, which is shocking from a team that's as good as Texas Tech.
That is shocking. But they're in for a world of hurt when they play this team. That's for sure, because JT Toppin can only do so much. So,
my love to play the game. And Vince Lamantia in the chat says, Karchenkov show, why the no love? Vince, I say this with all love. I think this might be your first time on the show because this podcast is the #1 absolute Karchenkov podcast in the country. We love that, man. And that's why my love to play of the game is the Ivan Karchenkov 3 he hit in the second half. And you're like, Kevin, That's insane. Why is that your love to play the game? It's because, one, he is Ivan Karchenkov, and he is a killer, and we love him. And two, I spent a lot of the second half, Saul, to be quite candid with you, working on the 22-0 graphic that is now circulating on our socials. So when I looked up after I finished the graphic and Ivan Karchenkov rains down a 3, it felt like I won. It felt like I finished my graphic and got rewarded with one of my favorite players hitting a 3, and it was absolute Karchenkov, and the meme was out, and it's doing well.
Or how
so,
about
yeah.
that and one? That
The and
one
one
was special.
Yeah. I will say that, yeah. But yeah, no, Vince, it's all love. Shout out, thank you for tuning in for the first time. Snowden era as a kid as well. That's amazing.
Wow.
OG.
Okay. Yeah.
OG.
OG for real. Hey, this is the #1 Ivan Karchenkov Stan podcast. And then you can check us out on McHale and Madness, which is the #1 Jaden Bradley Stan podcast. So,
which I think you guys might have chain snatched from us, which I don't know how I feel about that necessarily, but I don't know if it was really a choice.
Did we?
I think
last season we were big JB, like on the JB train for sure. I mean, listen, there's enough JB love to go around for 5 folks.
Whoa. Okay.
This podcast discovered Jaden Bradley, Saul.
First of all, let me tell you something about me, dog. We go back to Clemson when Jaden put, I think he had 33 up on Clemson in the Sweet 16. He was the only one doing anything. He was the only one doing anything against Clemson.
He was fantastic.
And he hit that clutch 3 to cut it to like 4 or 5 or whatever, just to give him some hope. And I just sat there and I was like, that's my dude. That's my guy. So congratulations, Damon, on having last year. But I go way back to like 6 months before that.
Brother, you didn't discover Jaden Bradley either. You can plant that flag all you want, but in that Clemson game, you could probably look on my Twitter. I think I tweeted out, hand him the keys to the program because I hated Kylan Boswell so much.
Hey, listen, yeah, but you weren't on a podcast at that time, so it doesn't count.
Wow. My opinions didn't matter until they gave me the mic.
Dude, Saul gets half a Modelo in him, and he just starts firing shots off, man. I mean, starts talking crazy.
I do have to be a little careful because Damon, listen, there's a line, and he is a habitual line stepper. So I gotta, listen, I don't want that smoke, Damon. I know how you go at people. I'm just saying.
Me? I don't do that.
I do get a good chuckle when I do see you on social. So anyway,
every once in a while, there's a good singer in there. You take 100 shots, you're bound to make one.
I haven't eaten all day. This Modelo's already hidden. I probably need to get out of here, but it was a good win.
We appreciate you, Saul, so much for hopping on this show, always elevating our game just to the next level, similar to Brayden Burries, a Koa Peat on this Arizona basketball team, you might say. But, of course, follow Saul Bookman at Saul_Bookman on all social.
The East Valley's own Saul Bookman, let's go, baby. Just like Koa.
Absolutely.
It's not just Koa Peat's homecoming.
It's not just for Koa.
Hey, that's right, baby.
Saul. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
I haven't been here 55,000 times before, ever. So here we go.
You know what, Saul? One thing I'll allow you to plant your flag in, that arena. That's your arena, Saul Bookman. You own that arena, and you have your whole life. Let's call it like it is. Of course.
I have played in this arena a handful of times, and I have never lost. And I'm pretty sure that every time I've watched a U of A game here, never lost. So there we go. I'll take that.
Not too many opportunities for a loss against that team, though.
That's Saul's house.
That's true. Eddie House did. There was a pickup game here once that we won't talk too much about, but Eddie House did kind of humble me a little bit. So
well, if it's a 10-year NBA veteran, I think we'll let it slide and pretend like it never happened. So
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
On McHale Madness last night, Damon, we had a question from the chat that said who wins in a game of horse, Saul or Corey, and Corey just gave it up. He just wiped his hands and said, "I ain't touched a basketball in 10 years. Saul, you got it." What, Corey? You got to have more competitive fervor than that.
I mean, he's seen it. He's seen it.
Saul, what would Lute have said to Corey if he told him something like that?
He'd have cut him.
Get your ass on the bench.
Yeah, he'd have cut him. Oh, you ain't got no heart. Go sit down.
That's awesome. Awesome.
We should create wristbands that say, like, what would Lute say?
Oh, fire.
Saul.
There you go.
Cooking up some
you
business
get the Modelo's
ideas.
Flowing and just all the ideas come out.
That's trademarked in the chat. Everybody who says that, we got a copyright going on that, so no one take that idea. But of course, Saul, we got to get you out of here. We got to get you some food in your tummy. And of course, follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. Get home safe, my guy, and we'll talk to you later this week. Of course, you can check out Saul's work over at McHale Madness once a week as well. Usually Thursday nights typically is when we're doing them, right? 7 p.m. But every once in a while, we change up the date a little bit to coincide with the Arizona Wildcats schedule. So just be on the lookout for it. McHale Madness podcast right here on PHNX Sports YouTube. Corey, Saul, Kevin, the best breakdown of Arizona basketball. Cannot wait for next episode next week, Saul.
Keep cooking, fellas. Appreciate you.
That is the great Saul Bookman. Kevin Thomas, what else do we need to get into before we get on out of here?
Just some quick stuff, not too much. We do have a king of the court to give out, Damon, and honestly, no other man. Cue the Adele song in his homecoming, in his hometown. Koa Peat, 21-2 with 3 rebounds as well. Honestly, quite frankly, for those that had the over 40.5 on the PRA that I made up on Twitter yesterday, you're disappointed. But that's okay, because we won and set a record, and Koa Peat came home and balled out. I mean, look at that photo. Do you need to say more? There are some photos coming out of Koa Peat from this game from Arizona Basketball's Twitter account that you must go see. They are absolutely electric. Inject them all into my veins. But yeah, he's the king of the court tonight. Any honorable mentions there?
Brayden Burries. Brayden Burries was really good as well. 17 points from him. I believe 7 rebounds, Kevin, which it's funny. Sometimes it feels like we look at Koa Peat's rebounds and we go, why are you rebounding like Trey Townsend out there? Right?
Yeah.
And it's because I think these guards are so good at rebounding. Even, you look at Ivan Karchenkov, like that dude is seemingly bringing down about 4 or 5 rebounds a night minimum. His first game of his career, he had a double-double in terms of rebounds. So I just think this team collectively is so good at rebounds that there's just not enough to necessarily go around for everybody to get theirs per se. And it's not really a referendum on Koa Peat because he's boxing out. He's trying to grab those boards, but they're just not landing, and it doesn't matter when you have such a great rebounding team around you. But Brayden Burries, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, Kevin, only 2 turnovers, had 2 steals as well. That dude is really, really good at basketball.
He's immaculate. He's incredible. He is Cali swag, Damon, Brayden Burries. I saw Erica put out a tweet, like something along the lines of, let's go Cali swag, or something like that, or that's a bucket from Cali swag. And I'm like, no, Erica. We're not starting this. We're not continuing the Cali Swag nickname. The Cali Swag nickname has to live and die on the Slam Tee end of, in my opinion. But who am I but just a man? I think that's all we had. We could do our by the numbers for this one, but Damon, honestly, it's a game against the Sun Devils, and what matters most is that you get the W. The number that matters most is the 2 top numbers there, 87-74. Now, you do shoot 36% from 3, albeit on very low volume in this one, but 4 of 11 is pretty decent in my opinion.
You were 0 of 5 at halftime, Kevin. So what does that tell you?
I mean, that
do some math for me.
It means that you had a good second half shooting the ball.
4 of 6 in the second half.
Look, I would have got that.
I know you had that in your bag.
I did, but I wanted to make the quip. 47 rebounds, you out-rebound them. Make it 22. Count them, 22 teams. You have now out-rebounded out of a possible 22. More assists, 1 more turnover. Can't have that. But overall, absolute Karchenkov, 22-0, best start in program history, second best start in Big 12 history, well, tied for the best start in Big 12 history, second best winning streak in Big 12 history. I'm running out of oxygen to list all the achievements of this Arizona men's basketball team. So let's get out of here, let's take a breath, and get on to February, because it's about to get real. And me and Damon are going to be previewing that for our members only. Members only are going to get the video version of me and Damon breaking down February and potentially a little bit of March as well in the Big 12. Just the top 5 toughest matchups for Arizona coming up in the Big 12. And if you are subscribed to our podcast on the audio side of things, you will get the audio-only version of that breakdown. And if you really want to see it, I encourage it, because we might end it a little early for the audio folks and continue that for the members only, because y'all pay the good bucks to get the good emojis and the good exclusive content. So keep an eye out for that.
Absolutely. We're going to be running down, as Kevin said, kind of the toughest matchups remaining on Arizona's schedule and the ones that we personally are most hyped up for. Again, that's going to be a members only content video. So if you want to watch the video here on YouTube, become a supporting club member, and you will be able to do so for just $5 a month. And then if you are not willing to pay that, or that's not something that's doable for you, no worries. We have an audio-only available episode, as well as Kevin outlined, that will be available anywhere that you get your podcast. We're going to try to upload a few more pieces of content to the audio-only side to kind of encourage people to start listening a little bit more. So, yeah, head on over to that. Subscribe to our podcast on any audio platform, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, so on and so forth. We appreciate White Burrito, $2. Bear down. Have a great weekend. We appreciate you, man. Ladies love Karchenkov, of course.
You already know.
And hopefully, a little teaser for the people that stuck it out at the end of the show. We might be talking to a potential Arizona basketball player, not naming names, later on in the week. So be on the lookout for a big announcement from this podcast. Of course, you can follow my guy Kevin at KevoPost. You can follow me at Damon Dog, that's DAWG, and you can follow us at PHNX_Wildcats on all social media if you want to check out an absolute flame graphic that Kevin came up with. Fire, heat, you name it. He did one on the Arizona win streak and that 22-0 record. Just great stuff from my guy, Kevin Thomas. Go check that out on our social channel, PHNX_Wildcats. And we'll be back on a Monday at 2 p.m. of the AZ Wildcats podcast. But in the meantime, peace out. Bear down.
And go Cats. Bye, Bobby. It was a good run. Call your brother.
We all silly like the mayor.